Hey guys, how's it going? Black Clover chapter 8, let's get straight into this. So we find out in this chapter, pretty much Asta could not heal his arms. The bones in his arms are literally in dust, and that is due to what Veto did to him in the underwater temple arc. So yeah, it puts you out there thinking, hang on, what is Asta gonna do? Because we know Asta has no magic, his only power is literally using the sword. If he can't move his arms, how's he gonna wield the sword? So we're thinking, we're a little bit of a junction right now in the journey, and we see Asta in this chapter, he's a little bit riddled by this. Actually, I wouldn't even use the word riddled, I'd actually use the word, it seems like Asta's struggling to come to terms with it, but we see in the next couple of pages, as usual, Asta's persona, you could say, his own zeal, it manages to heal him up and restore his it manages to restore his spirit, you could say, his motivation to make him say, yes, I'm not giving up, I'm going to continue doing this. And that's pretty much how the chapter ends. So I'm really interested right now with what is actually going to happen. Now, I know I can tell some people may feel a little bit conflicted when they read this chapter, especially with Asta's reaction to the news. Because before I get into that, first of all, I just want to give props to Tabata how he executed it. Because I really did like the whole execution of this chapter. How we start off, they're going to the healing of the medicine, and we see the doctor, and then it doesn't tell you. We go back to the black balls, and then Finral tells the gang. So I really did like the execution of that. It was a little bit new, it was a bit more refreshing, and I think it was better from seeing it from one of the Black Bulls' perspective, from Finral seeing it, because we see how everyone from the Black Bulls, most of them, Asta's had such a big impact on them, like especially Finral. When we were seeing in the underwater temple arc, Finral literally didn't want to come back, but when he was coming back, he was just like, I'm gonna die, why am I doing this? So it was really awesome to see for Tabata to actually use Finral, because I like that, because we've seen Asta have a massive impact on characters such as them. So I really did like that touch. Now, as I was saying, I do feel a lot of people may feel conflicted with Asta's reaction to the news, because we know that we know Black Clover is literally, I'm never going to give up. I want to be the Sorcery Emperor. I don't want to give up. That's literally what we hear all the time. But with this hurdle hitting at us, when we found out his arms, is going to be in dust, he won't be able to use his arms, he won't be able to wield his sword, I would have assumed Asta would have had a little bit of a different reaction. Maybe he lost his, zeal, lost his faith, thinking, wait, if I ain't got my arms, what am I going to do? That's what I was thinking Asta would react to. But no, instead, in a couple of pages, literally a split second, he was just like, I'm not giving up, I'm still going to be the Sorcery Emperor. So personally, if I had to put my thoughts on the topic, I'd say that I'm not as conflicted, I'm not as annoyed, because you gotta understand the Black Clover. There is sometimes, it does reach some cliche moments at times with, I'll never give up, that's my magic, all that kind of stuff. But it works. It kind of does work, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not surprised that Asta was just like, oh yeah, I'm not giving up. That's just simply his character, and it rubs off on everyone else, it rubs off on the readers, and it was kind of, I weren't expecting it, and that's why I'm kind of happy that it happened, if you kind of get my drift. Throughout this series, we may see sometimes where Asta loses his faith, and when he does, then you'll know, like, oh crap, everything's hitting the fan, like, you'll know that everything will be extremely serious. But in things like this, it's teaching you, and it's telling us that, like, hurdles can't stop you, like, that's not going to stop him, it won't stop Asta. And it just shows you how strong Asta's spirit is as well, how much he wants to be the Sorcery Emperor. So I really want to know more about it. Like, I would have liked to know a bit more of his thought processing before he said, like, I'm not giving up. All we saw was, he was thinking of he was thinking of all his moments. So it was obviously, it did bring on the feels, especially with because the man looks up to like, that's his rival. So when he said, like, when he thought he couldn't wield his sword, and he looked at, like, his best friend, he was just like, I can't let you leave me yet. You can't go ahead of me so much. I need to catch back up. So I did like the execution of that. It was just a simple thing nonetheless, but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Now, going aside from that, the Black Bulls, they have removed all their black stars, meaning they're not in the minus anymore, they're not in the negative. This is really good, and it just shows you throughout the amount of contribution that they've just done to the kingdom, to the Clover kingdom. It shows you how much they've helped them out. It shows you how much Asta's, you know, contribution, and Noelle's, Asta and Noelle, them being in it, they've done a lot. They've done a lot of missions. They've helped bring in those stars, you could say. So I really did like that, and also it shows you that in the previous, I believe it was in, I think it was 2 chapters ago. It may have been in the previous chapter, but I think it was 2 chapters ago. That's when Finral was saying, like, we're gonna defeat the Golden Dawn, us, the Black Balls. It shows you it's just one step closer, to be honest. And I can't specifically remember how many stars the Golden Dawn has. But yeah, they've got a long way to go, but it's progress, progress, progress. So I'm really excited to see them, you know, taking more missions, keep moving up their ranks, because you got to remember as well, a lot of people in the Black Balls, their power is not so directly correlating to their rank. I remember when Yami said that a couple of chapters back. Their strength is above that, because they're always forever pushing their limits. So yeah, it's just onwards and upwards with the stars. They're going to keep continuing and pursuing it. Now, it seems with the end of this chapter, it seems like we're going into a next arc, I'm going to believe, with Vanessa. And I'm really interested in that. The only thing we know about Vanessa is that, she moves away from her homeland. She moves away from her family. So, maybe, because she did say at the end, she said that she knew a kingdom that may be able to heal Asta. So I'm wondering, maybe, does that got to do with her homeland? Does that got to do with her family? I don't know, but it'll be a wicked arc to go into. I'll be really stoked to see that. I want to know more about Vanessa, know more about her family, and especially this homeland. And this mysterious kingdom. I wonder what it is. Now, what are the possibilities that can happen in this kingdom? Who knows? I'm really wondering, are we going to be going into this kingdom and we find someone that will be able to heal Asta's arms? Are we going to be going into the kingdom and we find something that maybe, you know, gives a bit more information on Asta's grimoire? That would be pretty cool. Maybe Asta's grimoire will be in contribution to maybe helping him heal his arms? Something like that. I don't know, man. The possibilities are limitless. So we'll have to see in the next couple of chapters. Honestly, I'm really I'm kind of liking it, I'm not going to lie, because this chapter ends off with, you know, starting of a new arc, it seems. And in the previous chapter, we saw the mages from, you know, the warrior mages from the Diamond Kingdom. So I'm really liking Tabata. He's kind of juggling these things with the new villains of Mars and all the other mage warriors in the previous chapter. Maybe they will arise in this homeland arc, in this town, in this kingdom, who knows? Imagine Vanessa takes them to the Diamond Kingdom and that's where they're going. Who knows, man? We'll have to see what happens in the next couple of chapters. So please, guys, tell me your thoughts, comment below what you thought of this chapter. Shinigami-sama, I'll see you next week for that greatness that is Black Clover, chapter 81. If you liked anything that I had to say, please drop a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let's continue the discussion down below, and I'll see you next week for that chapter 81. Peace, guys, and goodbye.